Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Speed Gaming 3. We're hopping right into our race today between Gyardo and Dr. Marty Zero. This is a race in Group X. As you can see, we're playing standard opening, chosen by Gyardo, and this is Game 3 of this set. The winner of this match will continue on in the tournament. The loser is out. This is a win and in match. And we get bombs in the escape. That's what you're really looking for right off the start. Well, both runners also received a sword from the uncle. It is just standard 7-7 defeat Ganon. And with those bombs, our runners are not going to have to try and grind out bombs for the 3 items in the back of escape. Gyardo a little bit faster here at the start as we head down into the first chest. Gyardo really showing what a polished runner can do here at the start. Already up about a screen, almost to the boomerang chest. We'll see what's in there. Just a big 20. Gyardo with a very nice 8/, killing the ball in chain guard. Dr. Marty going with pot and 4 slashes. And gloves in Zelda's chest for both our runners. Gyardo is showing off some really good movement as he is almost all the way back to the Dark Cross. Dr. Marty not that far behind, though. Both these runners are trying to put in everything they can, playing for their tournament lives today. Gyardo making his way through the rope room now. Pretty clean. Let's see our next chest here in Dark Cross. Just a piece of heart. And into the treasury. 3 chests back here. We still have not found a map in this dungeon. So 10 arrows. There's that map. And the Moon Pearl. Moon Pearl's gonna be a nice find. We are just a hammer away from Dark World access now, as Gyarados will finish out Escape, get the Sanctuary chest, and the game will begin in earnest. Sanctuary holding just one arrow for our runners today. Map check shows that Desert is our green pendant, and Tower of Hera and Eastern are both crystals. Gyarados making a beeline to the Lost Woods. Dr. Marty is going to head up and check out some of the pull prizes in Lumberjack, so he'll have a little bit more information at the cost of some time. 5 rupees on the tier 2 pull. A mirror in the Lost Woods. That's going to really help movement out once you get in Dark World. And there's a cape on Lumberjack Ledge. Cape only locks one item in Logic, so it's highly unlikely that Aghanim 1 is going to need to be killed for that item. But it is knowledge that Dr. Marty has that Gyarados is going to be missing out on for the time being. Some cash, some arrows, some more bombs, a bottle. I'll give one more check to Gyarados, to both our runners in Kakariko. Let's see what's in the back here. The lamp. Early lamp has often led to Aghanim seeds in this version of the logic. I'm sure both runners are happy to see it, but also a little bit concerned about what that might mean for the logic of the seed. A shovel for our fetch quest fans. The red boomerang, which used to be known as the bad boomerang until Fake Flipper's Insula deletion was figured out a little while ago. Another bottle from the bottle vendor. So far, not a lot in Kakariko itself other than that lamp. I guess we also got flippers. Sick Kid giving us his allowance. And Chad asking if they both started with Escape. They did by the rules of the seed. The runners chose standard mode for the opening for this race. So Kakariko leaves us with a little bit of a fetch quest. A few more locations open up, but nothing too exciting in all of those locations in Kakariko. Gyarados, check out Maze Race now and see what goes on from there. Dr. Marty cleaning up Kakariko. There's a book on Maze Race. Gyarados going to go back and grab that. with that book, there's a potential for Desert to be completely in logic, depending on what's on that torch. Desert is a green pendant, though. Gary, we're going to take this shovel and do some digging right away. Our runners all have a lot of options here. You could go to Desert, you could go up Death Mountain, go to Tower of Hera. There's a cane of Burna stuck in the ground. Gyarados gonna walk it out down to South Shore instead of saving and quitting. And the dam has given us a big 20 and another big 20. Gyarados gonna pass on that second batch of rupees and head over to Mini Moldworm Cave. Dr. Marty, we're following right in Gyarados' footsteps. Very nice Mini Moldworm room from Gyarados. Getting a lucky turn there from one of the Mini Moldworms to get both of those with one bomb. There's a King of Samaria. Blue Mail. More cash and a little bit more love. And with that money, that is enough to buy off Zora's services. Gyarados going to make some water checks now. Just a heart container on Lake Hilly Island. Let's see what life under the bridge gets us. The mitts. So we now have Dark World access with those mitts. Dr. Marty skipping out on the water locations is going to head up Death Mountain, it looks like. Meanwhile, Gyarados is going to head over to Waterfall Cave and then into Zora. Gyarados making a long walk over to Ice Rod Cave for 50 rupees. Doc Marty taking a long walk of his own for 5 rupees from the old man. Now Gyarados is going to head over to Waterfall Cave. We got Bombos on top of Spectacle Rock. Nothing of value in Waterfall Cave. And Hammer inside of Spectacle Rock. So Dark Marty will have his Dark World access in a different way with the Hammer. 20 rupees on Zora's ledge as Gyarados swims over to buy the services of a large fish. Nicely executed bomb jump from Dr. Marty there to get back up on Spectacle Rock after grabbing that hammer. He's about to go get his Bombos and head into Hera. I missed some of that map check. I saw the Turtle Rock was a pendant. Looks like Swamp and Palace of Darkness are red crystals. Just Couch Cash on the Ether Tablet. It looks like Thieves Town is our other pendant. Gyarados making his way up Death Mountain now. He'll be getting his hammer shortly. Dr. Marty sees a map in the first chest here in Tower of Hera. And it's going to be a little bit of a coffee break for both our runners as the basement is required in Tower of Hera. Marty opting to be a little more proactive in this room. I think with Canis Mari, I would probably just try and set up a coffee break for myself. Yeah, Gyarados and those mids are going to have an advantage here once he gets done with Tower of Hera and these Eastern Death Mountain checks, because he will be able to check Super Bunny Cave and see what Medallion Turtle Rock requires. Turtle Rock is a pendant, so it isn't necessarily the end of the world, but Gyarados is going to get a bit more information here. Dr. Marty taking a little spill back down to the base of the second floor here of Tower of Hera in the Beetle Room. A hammer gives a lot more recoil than a sword hit when you're hitting these beetles. We're about to see how Dr. Marty's feeling about this bomb jump in Tower of Hera. You can jump across this pit and grab the big chest without going upstairs and hitting another trigger. But if you miss your bomb jump, you're going down 2 floors. Looks like Dr. Marty's going to take it the slow and steady approach. Only gets a compass for his troubles. It is on to Moldorm. With the hammer, it's going to be 3 hammer hits to take out Moldorm. The hammer hitbox is a little wonky. There's 1 hit for Dr. Marty. There's a second. And that'll do it. Dr. Marty drawing first blood here in crystals. Just gets a piece of heart as his reward. And Dr. Marty is off to Eastern Death Mountain as Gyarados begins his ascent to the tower. Gyarados working his way up the tower. We'll see if he goes for the bomb jump. He is. Gyarados heading into his Moldworm fight. Now we got Doc Marty going through Paradox Cave. There's our Master Sword. Wow, very clean fight from Gyarados. He's got Tower Hair down. We're tied at 1 crystal apiece. Second half Paradox Cave only paying out rupees and pieces of heart. And Dr. Marty is done up here because he does not have those emits. Just some bombs up on Floating Island. We're going to go through Spiral Cave now. Doc Marty is going to head into the Dark World, presumably do Hype Cave and some of the Southwest checks. Just some 20 rupees in the Spiral Cave. So outside of this Master Sword that Gyarados will be getting here shortly, East Death Mountain, not a lot though going on there. Gyarados will get to look at 2 more items because he can access Super Bunny Cave. Half Magic in Hype Cave. Not a required item, but a very, very nice safety to have, especially having Kinaburna can protect you in some dangerous situations. Doc Marty going to head over now to, it looks like the pyramid. Oh no, into the water checks. So he's going to go get his mitts. And we're going to be all even up on items. Or not. Doc Marty only deciding to go and check the Lake Hilly Island item. He might come over here and mirror. No, he's going to go up to the pyramid. There's a place where you can drop down into the river there and mirror right next to the hobo. We'll see if he does that once he gets done with pyramid. Gyarados giving us a look at the Super Bunny Cave and what's in here. 2 item locations there. Just a piece of heart on the pyramid. Gyarados spamming that mirror to delete those blocks. A glitch that Any place where you can't use the mirror, you can can't use the mirror to exit. You can spam it as you're pushing a block to make it go away. Makes traversing some areas quicker. This one being one of the more significant ones. Just a piece of heart, or just a heart container and 20 rupees up here, though. Dr. Marty is taking that warp back over to Hobo, and he'll get his mitts. Gyarados sees that ether is required for Turtle Rock today. And with a hammer and a can of Burna, Spike Cave is in play. Gyarados going to make that play right now. And Doc Marty's going to make a dive into Palace of Darkness. With a little side venture to check out Sarasala's closet. Just 10 arrows for Gyarados at Spike Cave. He'll save and quit. Doc Marty gets some bombs, some money, and some more money. Gyarados is going to head to Kakariko and head to the Village of Outcasts. Thieves Town is a pendant. There are a lot of overworld locations in this area, though. Meanwhile, Doc Marty takes a dip into Palace of Darkness. Let's see if this is bow-locked, and if it is bow-locked, whether Dr. Marty wants to use that potion he's got to break the seal. There's a key, so we're headed to the lobby. No second key in the lobby for Dr. Marty, so he's going to go grab the Stalfos chest. Does get a key. He'll mirror out and can make a decision from there. Let's go to Vanilla Big Key or head to the back. Gyarados hopping into Thieves Town. Finds the Ice Rod, which is another pendant required item. Probably won't be getting any use out of that today. Doc Marty doing a hammer jump. It's going to head down into the rupee room, get these two chests. Gyarados finding the keys. Just one item in the first four for Gyarados, that Ice Rod. Dr. Marty knows that this is an item based on Kilo layout, but it's just a compass. And this pod tip is a bit of a bust for Dr. Marty. He's going to have to head out without any significant items. And he's going to hop into Eastern after this. Doc Marty going 3 Eastern. Gyarados getting 20 rupees up in the attic of Thieves Town. First couple chests in Eastern have just provided dungeon items for Dr. Marty. Gyarados about to check out the basement chest. Having already found one of the 2 dungeon items, we're also going to have to check the big chest. Doc Marty through the Stalfos room very cleanly. Finds bottle number 3.
Well, hello there, James FNX.
Hey, we're joined right now by Koi. Koi, welcome to the race. We got Gyarados and Dr. Marty locked in a battle for survival today.
Can you give me like a quick rundown? Big differences between the runners so far?
Absolutely. We're kind of at a divergence point right now. Both runners have full Dark World access. They both have, other than the Mesrimeyer, neither have the flute, but they both have mitts and the hammer. Gyarados has decided to go through and check out the Village of Outcasts area. He's about to finish up Thieves Town, which is a pendant. Dr. Marty went to the eastern area. Dove Pod was not able to complete it and is now in the middle of diving eastern without the bow.
Have we already been through all of the West Darkworld checks, like Village of Outcasts and
Gyarados checked everything in Village of Outcasts, nothing of note, and then there wasn't really anything of note in Thieves Town either. One interesting thing, Dr. Marty knows that the cape is on Lumberjack Ledge. Gyarados does not. So Gyarados may be checking out this bumper ledge here pretty soon and finding if there's something of value there. It could be a while before Gyarados figures out how to get there.
Very interesting to see Dr. Marty going through the bow lock dungeons without the bow. When
Speaking of the bow,
sound is available.
Speaking of the bow, we just found it in the brewery. Gyarados blowing the doors open in this seat right now.
So why hasn't Dr. Marty been over there at all?
Dr. Marty just got mitts. Mitts were at the Hobo. And Dr. Marty chose to do Hype Cave and into a pyramid check and then checked the pod/eastern area.
Very big gamble there. It might have paid off. It doesn't look like it did this time, though.
It did not, and Dr. Marty's going to be pretty disappointed by what he finds over here as well. Zora's a big scammer today. Gyarados already done all of these checks.
Like a big part of routing, especially at this level, is to avoid as many double dips as possible and to go into pod and eastern without the bow before you even done like Village of Outcast overworld seems super gambly. But then, you know, Gyarados really good.
Gyarados is really good. He's had a run of bad luck in this tournament. This is not where you'd expect him to be. He is the 1 seed in this group, and this is a winner stays, loser out match right here. This is game 3 of the losers bracket.
Yeah, I could definitely see at least myself if I was up against somebody of Gyarados' caliber. I'd want to make some crazy gambles too and try to just steal a seed away.
Oh, for sure. Gyarados cleaning up these Smith chain checks, so he'll be able to get the Smiths here. He'll be able to get hammer pegs, grab that chest, and then head down to the Southwest Dark World.
I can see both runners have done Tower of Hera. Have we seen Dark Death Mountain yet?
Gyarados had the mitts when he went up there, so he saw Super Bunny Cave, which didn't have anything. He does know that Turtle Rock is ether. Dr. Marty does not have that information. With Bombos, Dr. Marty's going to make a quick early play into Ice Palace.
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense than those bow lock dungeons. It's not uncommon at all to see like the Fire Rod at least locked behind Bombos, and Crystal Dungeon you can full clear. That's never a bad play.
Yep, and with Bombos, it's going to be a little bit slower than normal, but will not have any magic issues, especially with that half magic. Getting bullied a bit by these jellies, though.
Now, logically, Ice Palace can require either Candace Maria and or the hook shot. And I see we only have the Candace Maria, but there's only one way to find out whether or not those are required, and that's going into the dungeon and opening the chest. Thankfully, we have bomb jumps to be able to sequence break those things if they do end up being required.
Yep, there's a few different bomb jumps you can do in Ice Palace. There's the famous one that's used in NMG, but there's also a couple other rooms where you can bomb jump to sort of break the logic of the dungeon in smaller ways. Nice job by Dr. Marty in that pen gator room. That room is really tricky if you don't have Tempered Sword. The pen gators don't die in a single spin with Master Sword, and you can get caught up with a couple of them on the wall that are trying to get back out.
The strat here where he hits the switch with the bomb as he's standing on the pegs like that, that's to set up the Ice Palace bomb jump later. Ah, too bad the fairy spawn. He could have used that. It's always annoying when the enemy behind you drops something good.
Yep. Meanwhile, Gary's lunch is only 20 rupees. That purple chest not paying off for Gyarados.
Yeah, luckily this was his first time to this area, so like the Smith sequence is really, really slow and you hate doing it, but when you're doing it while checking K45, while checking Stumpy, it's just not that bad.
He also gets to check Bombo's tablet here, and neither runner has been in the desert area. Desert potentially full clearable is what we have. Boots may be an issue. Gyarados going to bypass all that though, and I'm going to assume head over to Hype Cave.
There is nothing that feels worse than going into desert and finding out that you don't have the items to full clear it. And with it being a pendant on top of that, I'm not surprised to see them putting off desert for so long. But you're right, that absolutely could be the play. And we are going to see a bomb jump here from Dr. Marty. This is the hookshot room bomb jump. This is actually pretty simple to do if you just line up right there. Oh, he's doing it the hard way, though. Okay. There's a slightly easier way to do it, but whatever works.
He made it through first try. It's always a good feeling when you're not having to redo bomb jumps. Gyarados picking up his half magic.
And the contents of these chests will eventually tell us whether or not hookshot was required. Finding Ether Medallion there, that opens up Pendant Turtle Rock. Lucky Dr. Marty.
He's lucky he doesn't know that yet. That's the actual lucky part, is he doesn't know that Turtle Rock is now open to him.
So unfortunately, you do have to actually pay attention to what's in the chest to know whether or not it was hookshot locked, and I totally looked away. I have no idea. What was in the top chest?
I don't remember. There's a flute.
Flute, that is a required item. All right,
yeah.
This dip into Ice Palace is already worth it.
Yeah, I don't remember what was in first chest in Ice Palace. It was not a small key, which is required. I mean, Dr. Mario had to do the bomb jump to get over to the eastern room of. Chat helping us out. The first chest in Ice Palace is a big key, which usually means that if it's not a small key, you're usually going to be expected to have a hook shot.
Yeah, the big key specifically will almost always mean that it is hookshot locked the right side there. Because the big key gives you access to 2 extra small key doors, so you wouldn't be able to logically open every door at once. But, you know, like, do you really need the hook shot? Nah, we got bomb jumps.
Eventually, our runners are going to need the hook shot. Swamp Palace is required today. Doc Marty heading into this Cold Stare fight with just a hammer and his Master Sword. This is a little tricky. The eyes have kind of separated out a bit. It's doing a good job, though, so far. I always panic when the eyes start rushing towards him. I'm trying to hit him with hammers.
So knowing whether or not the right side was hookshot locked is actually a little bit important here because we did find progression over there. So if it is hookshot locked, then that means both the flute and the ether medallion wouldn't be able to lead to the hookshot, narrowing down where that hookshot could be.
Yeah, it's really big because that takes out Turtle Rock and Misery Mire. Gyarados, with this bow, is going to be able to complete Palace of Darkness and Eastern on his trip over.
Yeah, this is very bad for Dr. Marty that Gyarados is able to single dip these. It is a huge time sink to double dip both of those dungeons, especially Eastern. So he's got some time to make up here. Getting the flute at Ice Palace, though, is a great start.
Yeah, that'll save him a ton of time traversing the overworld. Dr. Marty now up 2 crystals to 1 on Gyarados. And I imagine Dr. Marty's going to make a beeline for Kakariko to turn that flute and take a look at the Western Dark World.
So did we find anything here in Pod?
Nothing of value was found in what Dr. Marty was able to check in Pod.
Did he sequence break the Bowlock side?
He did not.
Okay.
He still had that blue potion that he saved for using the Cold Stare fight.
Oh, he was in Pod, and he could have sequence broken, but chose not to?
That's correct.
Little unusual. You'd think, like, it's a big gamble to be there already, and if you come away with nothing, it's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know. Might be a trick that he is not as comfortable with as some of the other runners. He may have made a decision that the blue potion was worth more than the 1 or 2 item checks. We know that the big key is either on this right side or in a vanilla location. And it's a vanilla big key today.
2 small keys on the Bowlock side does mean that quite a lot of this dungeon is considered bow-locked. But since we already saw it, it was nothing. It doesn't really matter.
Yep. So the only things that Gyarados is going to get to see in here that Dr. Marty did not is the big chest and whatever's on Helmasaur. Doc Marty taking his flute and instead of checking out, checks out, sees that ether is required for. That dungeon is full. Oh no, never mind. You need the hookshot or the boots to get in there, so you can't actually get in there yet.
It does make me think less about going into Turtle Rock, though, knowing that ether is required for something even better.
Definitely. I think Doc Marty's going to chain probably a desert check here. I don't think either runner has seen what's on the ledge. It is just some cash. And Marty mirror bonking here. Looks like he wants to just check checkerboard in Agonist Cave and skip desert altogether.
It's not too uncommon to
I don't hate it.
skip desert, but I feel like you check checkerboard before going into desert anyway, just in case it's the boots.
Right.
These mirror bonks are real, though.
Just a piece of art in Checkerboard Cave, and I didn't see what Gyarados got out of the big chest in Pod. It wasn't particularly exciting, though, from Chad's reaction.
So Dr. Marty does hop down to go to Aeginus Cave. This does tell me he will not be going into desert right now.
Yeah,
it's not surprising.
Not unless he has to, that's for sure.
Like, if you haven't even been to Village of Outcasts yet, we're not going into Pendant Desert.
Robs the old man of his money and heads out. Now he'll probably get the Village of Outcast checks from Doc Marty. He'll get that bow eventually. And probably be a little bit upset with some of his decision making today.
Not 100% sure why Gyarados using the bomb to do this rather than just Canis Maria.
Not 100% sure why Gyarados didn't just mirror.
Well, he did the hammer jump earlier, so he could do this like one loop and void mirroring.
Oh,
I think
sure.
it's a little faster if you can do the hammer jump really really quickly like he did. But like he's gonna switch to Canis Mario right here anyways. So it's like, why didn't you just use that to hit the switch?
Just little optimizations here and there. Dr. Marty going to take our first look into Skullwoods. I like this play. I might even have gone to the big key chest first with Canis Mario. It's a very quick check. But this is going to allow him to loop over and see what's on Bumper Cave and see if what's there is required.
And there's that hook shot.
There's that hook shot. Doc Marty getting a big piece of equipment ahead of Gyarados here.
Yeah, and that puts both the flute and the ether medallion in logic. We can now full clear logically Misery Mire.
Yeah, and it's actually as soon as Doc Marty picks up this bow in the brewery, he will be he'll be a fire rod away from go mode.
I don't think he's going to brewery. I think he's just gonna ditch this and immediately go to Meyer.
That is another route you can take.
Especially after he was forced to saving quit with the keys kind of getting him there.
Yeah, that was rough. Looks like he's going to
stock up on potions and then just go to Vitreous.
Yeah, that's looks like what the play is going to be.
Alright, so pod was completely empty, but g3rd0 gets the crystal on his first trip.
Tying us up at 2 crystals apiece. Chad asking what settings are for this race. The only change setting for this race is it was a standard opening. Everything else is the same. It's 7-7. It's defeat Ganon. There's no item shuffle going on. And Sword, while not guaranteed, was actually on the Uncle today.
The other thing the hookshot's going to do for Dr. Marty is it's going to really increase the value of going to Dark Death Mountain. So that may just mean it's a even longer amount of time before he goes to Brewery and gets that bow. There are 2 bows, though.
There are 2 bows, and even with not only does it give him Dark Death Mountain, he now can full clear Swamp. Like, there's so much of the world he can do without going back to Kakariko and to a Pendant Thieves Town.
Yeah, and I feel like for a lot of runners have the same kind of mentality. After you don't do something so accessible for so long, you really, really, really don't want to ever do it. And I think that might end up hurting Dr. Marty pretty hard, more than it already has by double dipping bottom Eastern. But
yeah, I agree.
Make it safe by finding the other bow.
The only thing I might have done with the knowledge that I would have had from his position is check Bumper Ledge while I was up there, just to see, do I need to... Is Aghanim 1 going to be in the back of my mind at some point? Like, if Fire Rod is up there,
the Lumberjack?
all bets are off. On the Lumberjack has the cape.
Oh, okay, right. So you meant Bumper Ledge for Lumberjack. Right, got it.
Yep.
So where was our Ice Rod?
Ice Rod is in Thieves Town.
Okay. Probably not required.
Ice Rod was the only thing of value in Thieves Town. And even then, its value is kind of dubious.
Yeah, it's just a single item location at the very end of one of the slowest pendant dungeons. Probably not needed.
And with our knowledge, we know that it can't possibly have what we need, because the only thing that we're missing from our perspective is the Fire Rod at this point. And potentially the boots.
Yeah, boots always a big question mark until you get to GT. Meyer, unfortunately, being super gross today. Can we get an item? No, we
Nope,
cannot.
it's on Vidi. Vidi has our second piece of treasure.
We skipped the cutscene chest, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah, I think he did. I think he's going to continue to skip it.
The cutscene chest is like super slow. I don't blame people for wanting to skip it, but sometimes you get rewarded by just saying, I'll just do it fine.
I tend to end up doing it because it routing from where you exit the big key chest is usually a lot cleaner than walking all the way back over across one way or the other. You'll either know if you have the key or not if you're checking the chest on the bridge or not. I don't know. It is definitely a slow, very, very slow check, though.
g3rd0 going to show us the top right strat here for Armos. Very clean.
Yeah, Garros had a lot of chances to show off his NMG routing in this seed. He chose the standard modifier in this race.
Oh, Slowpoke letting us know he didn't do either of the Firelock chests on the left side of Meyer.
It's a pretty big gamble. I guess you know you have to kill Vitreous anyways.
I mean, if Vitreous doesn't drop progression, I feel like you kind of have to go back in then.
Yep. And,
but I mean, say we kill Vitreous and it's the Fire Rod, like, yeah, I'm totally skipping whatever else is in here.
Right. Meyer 2, not the fastest room without boots either. Doc Marty with these NMG strats kind of getting choked up here at the start. It's going to use that Cane of Burna and very slowly, and I do mean very slowly, attack these eyeballs.
Fun tidbit though, as long as you don't die, it does not matter how slow you go. It will be faster than
it is definitely faster than dying, that is for sure. Finally, all the eyeballs are dead. We're going to turn that Cane of Burner off and bust out the hammer. Garrett will have a big advantage getting into this dungeon. He'll have the bow to kill this last phase off much quicker.
Hammer is a very effective weapon in this last phase here, but it is super dangerous. If you miss a hammer swing, you probably take 3-4 hearts of damage. Very nicely done.
Very, very well done by Dr. Marty.
Just a small key on the boss. We got to go back in, right? Surely.
Like, if you're pushing Meyer before all of the overworld checks in Western Dark World, like, you just have to push it all the way.
g3rd0 has made his way to Ice Palace, though. Crystal Dungeon he can full clear, and he's going to find his progression here. Oh, we're leaving? Really? Okay.
Maybe he feels like these are the gambles he's got to make to win this race.
I can't agree with this play at all.
Doc Marty's going to head to Swamp now.
I don't know, like you see the logic chain, right? You get to Skullwoods, get the hook shot, which takes you to Ice to get the flute, and the Ether Medallion takes you to Meyer, and then you leave items there to go to Swamp. I feel like you have to full clear Meyer in that situation, but you know, I may be proven wrong here.
The one thing it does do is it adds a little more density if you get to a point where Swamp doesn't give you anything. You then have Desert and what's left in Meyer together. Like, it's a small positive, but it might be what he's thinking about.
Yeah, just look at the opposite side of it. So, like, you leave something behind in Meyer and say it is progression. You're going to go to quite a few places first before you ever come back there. Like, Dark Death Mountain is completely full clearable. You might even, like, find the Fire Rod somewhere else and end up going into TR. And going straight into Swamp rather than doing, like, the Village of Outcast checks down to Swamp means he's probably not going back there either. So that bow sitting in Brewery is going to be a bit.
Gyarados also looking to do this bomb jump. Very nicely done.
Yeah, on the other side, Gerdo here, he's going to find Flute and Ether here on the right side, which will take him to Mire and probably up to Turtle Rock before he goes to Skull Woods, honestly. So that hook shot being a big thorn in his side.
Yeah, Gyarados with Village of Outcasts fully completed already, and no boots. Then really, Skull Woods would be the only reason to head over back into the Western Dark World. It's a long walk just for Graveyard Ledge check. Oh yeah, he can't actually get into Mire without the hook shot, so he may just head directly to Turtle Rock.
Well, I don't know if he'll do that, because without the Fire Rod, Turtle Rock is it's usually nothing. Like usually it's just like the big key in the first chest and you're done.
Yeah,
but we'll probably see Desert at least.
Maybe he is filtered into a Skull Woods check at this point because he can't get into Mire. He can check anywhere from 0 to 4 items in Turtle Rock, depending on layout. And Skull Woods is at least is likely to be an item. We know it's a hook shot. Not a lot of places for Gyarados to go at this point.
I think he'll likely activate his flute and then go over to the Mire area and just, at the very least, to see what medallion opens Mire. And while there, you feel like, well, there was nothing in Mire Shed or Checkerboard, so let's go into Desert. And if there is progression in Desert, it might be something super helpful like the Fire Rod that draws him into Skull Woods to get the Fire Rod, but it might be something, or to get the hook shot, but it might be something worse like the boots, which take him into Mire without that hook shot and continues sequence breaking. But I think Gerdo is definitely a quality player who probably paid attention to the key logic in Ice Palace and knows that Flute is locked behind the hook shot, which very much narrows down where it could be.
Doc Marty living that left side life here in the swamp. He's gonna check. It's interesting. He's checking left side swamp, but skipped left side.
Yeah,
Mire.
Right. Like, where is the? There's no consistency here.
Chad asking what was found in Thieves Town earlier today. We just found the ice rod. Nothing else in Thieves Town of any value. Let's see if this is the gamble. It's 10 arrows. One more chest here on the left side. Just a Hurricane Tanner.
It is 2 items though. So I mean, if people are going to full clear swamp and do left side as well, like they usually do it when there is at least 2 items on the left side there. So maybe if Gerdo gets there before he's in go mode, this won't be like a time loss between them.
So Gyarados bought a arrow upgrade before he save and quit. Hoping, I guess, to find hook shot or boots in the Mire area. It definitely looks like that's what his next play is if he's refilling his arrow count.
We'll be able to tell right away if he was following the key logic in Ice Palace. Because if I understand correctly, the only places he has left that he hasn't been to that could have the hook shot, if he was watching the key logic, is Skull Woods, Bumper Cave, and Swamp.
And Desert.
No, Desert would be locked by. Oh yeah, no, because he has a book. You're right.
Yep. Yeah, both these runners have had access to Desert for a while and have forgone it. We're going to head to the Mire area for Gyarados. Red mail for Dr. Marty in the flooded chests and swamp.
Unfortunately, getting bounced back by the stair glitch.
It feels so good when you avoid that glitch.
Yeah, unfortunately, you do need the boots to do that.
Yep. One big rupee in the big chest at Thieves Town. Swamp.
Continuing to be time sink here.
We'll see if Gyarados makes the desert dip here or not after being disappointed in Checkerboard Cave.
He should.
Dr. Marty with his last check here. It's 10 arrows. The swamp only giving red mail so far. We do have the boss left.
All right, we're going desert.
I like this play from Gyarados. I wonder without boots if it's faster to peek the item on Desert Ledge and then flute back to 6.
I hate doing that. I've never timed it or anything. I just don't like doing it. I like doing what Gerdo did and just check it when I'm going into desert anyway.
Dr. Marty here in the Argus fight with Master Sword.
We're not boots locked in desert.
Spinning these puffs, trying to get 2 at a time here. Doing all right. It's a slow fight with Master Sword, but getting through it pretty cleanly.
Gerdo will be able to full clear this dungeon, including Green Pendant Landmo.
Yeah, it's 3 items that Dr. Marty has not seen yet. And Argus is down, gives up 3 bombs. Dr. Marty getting another crystal on the board, but no more progression. He's still looking for a bow and the fire rod. Gyarados is just looking for fire rod and a hook shot at this point.
I do expect Dr. Marty to go up to Death Mountain now. With that hookshot in hand, just Hookshot Cave plus Super Bunny looks so good.
You called it. Gyarados finding 20 rupees in the back of desert. And second item is on Landmo, I believe.
Yeah, poor Gerdo. He doesn't really have a lot of choice here. With the information he has, Landmo looks like a really, really good location for finding that hookshot that he knows could be there and was logically required to get that flute in ether.
I don't know. I'm honestly expecting Fire Rod or Boots here in Hookshot Cave. One or the other.
Fire Rod would be like really good for Dr. Marty to find, but it'd also be really bad.
Yeah, that's going to take him away from Brewery forever.
Yeah, Fire Rod and Hookshot Cave would mean that Gerdo is forced to go into Skullwoods without the Fire Rod, which is obviously something that he totally doesn't want to do. But the Fire Rod and Hookshot Cave also means Dr. Marty is probably going into Turtle Rock.
Gyarados showing off these Ice Rod strats with Land Molas. Fire Rod, not the only rod that can do some damage to a couple of these bosses.
Just 5 rupees, though. Gotta go turn in that green pendant. I see no other option right now. You have to go immediately turn in the green pendant. Just a shield in Hookshot Cave so far. More hearts.
Nothing but a shield in Hookshot Cave.
Bad news for Dr. Marty.
I guess it's not the worst. I think it's going to send him along to Village Outcasts finally.
Looks like we will be entering Turtle Rock, though, without the Fire Rod. Now, most likely what happens here is he gets something in the first chest that's not a small key, and he has to immediately leave. But there are key layouts that could force him to continue in the dungeon all the way to Laser Bridge.
Heck, even Fire Rod could be on Laser Bridge. I've seen some pretty disgusting Turtle Rock layouts.
Yeah, and unless he gets the Fire Rod here, or at least the other bow or something, like this is a huge time sink. So we're hoping for either progression or not a small key in this first chest.
Maybe we're not even hoping for the fire rod. Does he continue if he sees fire rod in chest 1?
He's gonna have to. I mean, he might not with the way he's been routing so far. Playing a little on the edge of his seat, very gambly so far.
Green
It's
pendant.
a small key.
Green pendant only gives 10 arrows. So Gyarados is kind of funneled himself into Skullwoods here. Not heading there though. He's gonna head to Swamp without Hookshot.
Oh, this is great news for Dr. Marty. Not only is that time that he spent on left side going to be completely refunded as g3rd0 spends that same time there, but he gains time because g3rd0's going to have to double dip this dungeon.
Yeah, the only bad news is if Fire Rod's on the left side. There's the boots.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad, but
if this leads
does...
to the Fire Rod, that's amazing.
Maybe this is what pushes Dr. Marty to now check the Northwest Dark World, because he knows that the cape is on Lumberjack Ledge. So he can now get intel on Bumper Ledge, see what's there, and if it does happen to be the Fire Rod, now he knows exactly what he has to do. Although that still puts Brewery kind of out of the way.
I think what we'd really like to see here, like the best thing for Dr. Marty would be Fire Rod in Bonkrocks or King's Tomb.
Where's Dr. Marty going?
Not sure.
Did he not check?
Oh, right, because he never checked this because he got
hookshot and bailed. That's right. So he's gonna check.
He got ruined by the
Big
keys.
Chest.
But this has to be a small key then, right? Or no? Oh, he just bailed.
No.
He didn't get ruined by the keys.
He has 2 keys.
Oh, then
It is just.
why are you checking this? Come on, man.
So we're about to get a fair bit of new information. Dr. Marty is going to check Bumper Cave on the way to the way to Village Outcast, I would assume. And Gyarados going to check left side of Swamp.
When I saw him save and quit out of Skullwoods before, I just assumed because he just got ruined by the keys.
Just 10 arrows on ledge, so that cape is not required, which means that these boots are going to take him even further away from the Village Outcast. He's going to do these 3 checks in sequence.
No, I disagree. I think this takes him closer to Village of Outcasts because, say you saw the Fire Rod up on Bumper Cave, you just save and quit and go do Aga, right? But if he finds the Fire Rod in Bonkrocks, so, well, he's already in the Dark World. He's already in this general area. You go kill Mothula, and then, all right, well, I guess we'll go south from here. And, oh, look, the bow, go mode.
Powder, that leads to another check. That could funnel him back into Village Outcasts.
Oh,
but I think he's going to check. He's certainly going to check Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb before that.
g3rd0 only just now beginning his left side dip here in Swamp.
Yeah, I misspoke earlier. Dr. Marty did see the left side chest. There wasn't anything. There's the Fire Rod on Graveyard Ledge.
That's like.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Gross.
Is he gonna?
It's really bad for g3rd0.
It is definitely very bad for g3rd0. g3rd0 is nowhere near this area.
Okay, so like,
once he finds a hook shot, he's not going to come back. He's not going to continue checking.
Yeah. So like g3rd0's going to do left side Swamp. He gets nothing. It's like, oh my god, it's freaking Skullwoods. He goes to Skullwoods and finds the hook shot. And what does he do from there? He's not going to Graveyard Ledge. He's going to take that hook shot to Mire, and then he's going to take it to Dark Death Mountain, and then he's going to go into TR, and then he's going to do boots checks and check Graveyard Ledge.
He might even like finish Swamp before any of that too.
Oh yeah, that too as well, yeah. So like this is huge for Dr. Marty. This may have saved him. He still has to go to Brewery and get the bow. But, that's going to be a much easier decision for him to do than for g3rd0 to go to Graveyard Ledge after finding the hookshot in Skullwoods. The only thing that might save g3rd0 is if he goes to Graveyard Ledge before Skullwoods.
That's going to be a hard piece of routing, though. Ooh, knowing where boots are at. Graveyard Ledge right now is isolated for him.
God, if Dr. Marty comes back to win this race after double dipping Pod and Eastern when g3rd0 single dipped them, that is huge.
And now we know that gamble in Misery Mire paid off big for Dr. Marty. I don't want to be a results-based thinker here, but it's looking good for him.
I still think it was wrong.
I agree.
Super wrong. It's lit. It's lit.
Dr. Marty with the torch glitch, the bad torch glitch.
All right, g3rd0 is pretty bottlenecked by these checks. He knows that the hookshot has to be in these checks somewhere. But he needs to do both the front of Skullwoods and Graveyard Ledge to maintain this lead that he has.
I can't imagine he makes the Graveyard Ledge play. There's nothing drawing you there.
All right, well, he's definitely going into Skullwoods first.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dr. Marty is getting bullied a bit by Mothula.
He's got potions, I think.
Yeah, he did stock up a little bit earlier, bought a couple potions, and gets it done. Mothula down, that is crystal number 5 for Dr. Marty. Just left with the Eastern Palace pod combo as soon as he can find that bow.
You see g3rd0 going to the vanilla big key chest first before dropping down the hole. He does this because of the key situation that I was mistakenly believed to have existed earlier.
I prefer this. I prefer this anyways in an early run. Like, you just go here, you check this chest, you do the front, and you exit and go to Village Outcasts. This late in the run where you don't have anything to do in Village Outcasts, maybe it's still good, so you can make sure you get a key either from that chest there or the pot key on the other side of that room.
Okay, it is now decision time for Dr. Marty. He could take this fire out up to Turtle Rock, which he knows will get him much farther in the dungeon. But he needs to take it to Brewery to go to Village of Outcasts here and do these checks that have been open for so long. It looks like he's walking down to go to Village of Outcasts, yeah.
Yep.
All right, g3rd0 gets his hook shot. Do you stay or do you go? If he goes, he's in big trouble. All right, mirror out of the dungeon. That's fine. Don't mirror again. Don't do it, g3rd0.
Uh-oh. Dr. Marty starting at 1 hour and 13 minutes, starting his Village of Outcasts checks. And will get paid off eventually. I don't know if he's going to dip Thieves Town before he checks the Brewery. I would definitely check Brewery first.
So g3rd0 will undoubtedly full clear Swamp and likely Mire as well. And at that point, he can go to Graveyard Ledge, and it doesn't seem like the worst decision in the world, but I think he's going to go to Dark Death Mountain afterwards, too.
There's the bow for Dr. Marty, and Dr. Marty is now in go mode. He's going to head over.
Unbelievable.
It's wow. Rando, ladies and gentlemen. Rando, folks. Dr. Marty's going to head over and do the Pod Eastern double and quickly be on his way to Ganon's Tower.
And guys, don't be mistaken, we're not saying that g3rd0 is wrong to skip Graveyard Ledge. He's making the right call for the information he has. It's just, unfortunately, the wrong call for this seed. Because
absolutely.
The progression just happens to be there.
Graveyard Ledge is such a slow check without boots, and with nothing around it, it's very rare that you're going to see a runner check that location by itself unless it's the last thing you have.
I say skipping Graveyard Ledge in g3rd0's situation is like it's barely aggressive.
Oh yeah,
Like, the only people who would have checked Graveyard Ledge after finding the hook shot, which locks all this other stuff in Skullwoods like that, would be somebody who doesn't skip anything ever. And you can't be a really, really good Link to the Past rando player if you're not willing to skip things. And when you're skipping things, this is a really good one to skip. It's unfortunately just going to ruin his day today, though.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a 100% tournament, so
Yeah, when is that
asking
a thing?
any
I'd be good at
never.
that. I want to
Yeah,
play.
so would I.
Let's play 216, man. 216. This is actually absolutely insane. Dr. Marty is I don't want to call it because we're still a ways away, but Dr. Marty is in a very, very good position to win this race right now. And to do that against a player like g3rd0, after making a play where you end up double dipping Eastern and Pod, like that's unheard of.
And leaving both items in a full clearable dungeon. Like, he skipped both items in Mire. g3rd are going to head to his Argus fight here momentarily, while Dr. Marty is going to grab this big key and mirror out and head on to Helmosaur King. The sick part about this is Dr. Marty has boots too. He's only going to gain time through movement.
It's almost unfair.
It really is.
I think g3rd0 will be able to laugh it off after something like this. But I think if I was in his position, I'd be a little salty losing to Dr. Marty with these item layouts. Just missing the quick kill there.
Yeah.
Not as easy with the ice rock.
No. Bad news for g3rd here is this is a do or die match. This is game 3 of this set, and the winner will go on to the second place match in Group X. The loser is going to be out.
g3rd going back in for the big chest. Meanwhile, Dr. Marty having a heck of a time here in the turtle room.
Yeah, the turtles are trying to steal his lunch money. Red mail means it's not going to be much of an actual threat, just an annoyance. One of those things where you just want to like set your controller and I'm like, why? Why is this room a thing? Even Helmosaur wants Dr. Marty to win right now. Look how cooperative this pattern is.
Alright, g3rd finding nothing in Swamp Palace. Gotta go to Mire.
Yep.
And this will undoubtedly be a longer Mire dip than Marty had, because I can't imagine g3rd skipping those 2 items like he did.
Yeah, there's no way. So what could g3rd find in here that could close the gap a little bit? Tempered Sword?
Tempered Sword wouldn't be bad. The silvers, I guess, maybe.
Silvers a little bit, yeah. I think that's about it for things that g3rd could find here that will try and close this race up a little bit.
Wait, are we supposed to be impartial? Nobody told me.
I mean, I am partial to good races, which is strange if you've watched me run. They aren't good races, but I'm partial to seeing races that come down to the wire, and it doesn't look like right now. It doesn't look like that's going to happen here, but anything can happen.
No, it feels real bad, I think, for g3rd0. Any situation where you watch a runner, they don't make any wrong decisions and they still lose by a mile. Like that feels real bad because I've been in that situation myself, you know.
Oh yeah, I think we'd both be feeling the same way if the names were reversed here. If it was Dr. Marty on this desperate hunt for a fire rod, and g3rd0 was as far ahead as Dr. Marty is right now. Rando is gonna rando.
I certainly don't mean to take anything away from Dr. Marty. That's not our intention here. Even like God routing a seed, you still have to be a really good player to take g3rd0 down.
Absolutely.
And Dr. Marty definitely did not God route this, you guys. A little rough Armos fight there, and this actually might... It could potentially be bad for Dr. Marty because he's down to 4 arrows, and yet he's headed to Turtle Rock, where you kind of need a few arrows.
Yeah, you need a few arrows to get through the first Mimic room for Ganon's Tower. Those have a shovel if he has to end up digging up things. But we are at the point in this race where one of our runners is headed towards Ganon's Tower. Our big key guessing game bot is still getting a tune-up, so until then you'll be able to put your numbers in chat, and whoever gets closest will win some internet cred, but no speed gaming name and lights.
And Meyer, just a piece of heart there. Very unfortunate. Oh, nice arrow drop for Dr. Marty.
Sometimes it's best to be lucky and good.
So normally I would make a comment about how Dr. Marty's on Master Sword Silverless, and, you know, like, he might die to Ganon 5 times and g3rd0 would catch up, but at this stage in the tournament, that's pretty much not going to happen.
Yeah,
every single runner.
Yeah, every runner in this tournament
are good.
Well, 127 at least. I would say that about me, but yeah, all of these runners are very, very good. Have execution down. That's the one thing about this community over the last year and a half is the level of players in this community has gone up so high as Dr. Marty grabs a heart piece and a key, and we'll continue on the right side. Everyone is so good. There are very few matchups where you're like, this is a freebie, this is a pass. Dr. Marty having a little bit of trouble in this torch room, but gets through it.
Yeah, as long as you don't get picked up by the Wall Master, it's fine.
That's never happened to me. Not once, not ever.
One time.
Map in chest number 3, 10 arrows, the silver arrows, and some bombs. So we're going to grab this key and see if Dr. Marty wants to continue and do full right side, or if he wants to double back and head towards the Stalfos room in the torch.
We're mirroring here, so we call this the hybrid route.
small key on Bob's torch, so those boots not required for anything today.
I guess they're logically required.
Yeah, I guess if you were to accidentally open that door between left and right side. That was check number 7. Get 8 through 11 here.
Very cooperative Stalfos there, killing all 3 with only 2 slashes.
You love to see it. Nothing in the Stalfos room though.
It's very easy to get like trapped in that room for like 20 seconds just trying to slash the single Stalfos.
Oh yeah, if it hides behind one of those chests, it's just.
It's like, come on, man, move!
Can you let me hit you? Is that a thing? No. All right. Full her container in the firebar room. We'll keep moving on here.
Yeah, unfortunately, g3rd0 here. Dark Death Mountain, Hookshot Cave, and TR, they just look better than going to Graveyard Ledge. So we're probably going to be last locationing that Fire Rod.
Yep.
He does likely find boots, though, so that's something.
That is true. Fire Snake Room only given some rupees. And that's 13 checks. We're going to do 14 through 17 here in Rando Room. There's our big key in check number 16.
Still on Master Sword Silver list, though. Oh, no, we have Silvers, too.
Yeah, he's got silvers and wall kicks. Wall kicks, enjoy that internet cred for guessing chest number 16. Today, wall kicks will work. Dr. Marty starting his ascent of Ganon's Tower. Cleanly through the spike trap room and is heading to the gauntlet. Master Sword Gauntlet is often an adventure.
It can be quite frustrating.
g3rd0 and Turtle Rock, and he's gonna make his dip over and get his.
Dr. Marty putting the fire rod to use one fire rod shot to kill these red Zazax.
Yep, very smart. Heading over to Lamo fight. One silver arrow will take out each of these heads. The shooter makes things a little more awkward. But 2 for down in the first round. Gets the last one here.
g3rd0 mirroring out. We're floating? Yeah, we're floating. Okay, now we're saving footing. I'm confused. Oh, he's gonna do the boots checks and continue trying to skip Graveyard Ledge. Oh.
Yeah, this one is a little rough at this point.
Does he have anything else? It's just Graveyard Ledge, right? Or I guess he gets the powder here. He might go do that first.
Yeah, he'll get the powder. Other than that, I think it's just Graveyard Ledge. Yeah, I can't think of anything else at this point.
Oh, this is Gerda's first look at Lumberjack.
It is, and he's going to see a cape in here and wonder why he's not in the Dark World and can't just loop this into a check of Bumper Ledge.
I'm curious if he had he checked this at the beginning of the game, like he could have, you know, but most runners do skip it. Would that have gotten him to Graveyard Ledge? Because I feel like if you're looking at Bumper Cave and Graveyard Ledge is like right there.
Maybe. I think he's just resigned at this point to last location. It's gonna check what's in Magic Bat. Meanwhile, Dr. Marty, a very clean climb of Ganon's Tower and taking on Aghanim 2. Nice double for his first round.
Another fetch quest. No! The mushroom on Magic Bat.
Dr. Marty getting through the Aghanim 2 fight in 4 phases, 2-1-1-2. And he is on his way to the final fight with Ganon.
Just a bottle.
Just like Deja Vu all over again, and just like Deja Vu, there's gonna be a lot of spins. A lot of spins.
We're going Pyramid Fairy.
So the Master Sword version of this fight, you're gonna have to hit you're gonna have to hit Ganon with 12 spins in phase 1, 12 spins in phase 2, and then 4 more spins in phase 3. We're into phase 2 right now, and favorable positioning for Dr. Marty here as Ganon's given a little spot in the upper right-hand corner to chill out in. He's going to crack this red potion. I believe he has one more.
At this rate, Dr. Marty's going to finish before Gerdo even figures out where the fire rod is. God, that's so tilting. I mean, it always feels bad when you lose a race, right? And it feels bad when, like, somebody finishes before you get to GT. But when the other guy finishes before you find your go mode item,
yeah, I was there in this tournament in one of my matches against Pika Pals. We have the one true weakness of Ganon. 4 arrow shots after spins is going to take out Ganon here. Does get the sword of the torch glitch. Not a big deal without it when you have silvers, as it often lets you set up doubles like that. One more spin. Doesn't quite get it. Let's wait. One more cycle. Did find a sword Pyramid Fairy. Gonna check Catfish, but there we go. Dr. Marty getting it done. Dr. Marty gonna move on to another match. Survives the day. GG with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 41 seconds. Dr. Marty Zero has taken this match 2-1. And Gyarados forfeiting shortly after.
I feel so bad for him. He wasn't wrong to skip Graveyard Ledge. Like, that's not how Rando works. It's just completely got him this time. Welcome, Dr. Marty, to the voice chat. GG.
Hey guys, thanks
GG,
very
congratulations.
much.
Congratulations on winning this this best of 3. You get to play another day.
Yeah, I honestly can't believe it now, especially against someone like g3rd0. I mean, that's just staggering that I managed to get 2 up on him. I was happy with 1 win against him, so to get a second is really amazing.
Yeah, it looked like you were willing to take a lot of gambles and risks in this seed. There's one point where we're still looking for, you were still looking for the bow, and you went and cleared Misery Mire and left both items there and didn't come back. What were you thinking at that point?
I was thinking, this is a huge mistake. I should probably go back and clear that before I regret it half an hour later. But thankfully, the gamble really paid off. To be honest, I was just happy with that. I was thinking that the likelihood of both bows being in there was quite low, so it'd be better to go clear other places first. But it was, it was definitely one of my more daring gambles.
Yeah, absolutely incredible that you took this race, especially with the double dip of Eastern and Pod. Can you tell us why you chose those dungeons over the more efficient like overworld checks like Village of Outcasts down to Stumpy or going into Ice Palace a little earlier?
I think it's just my general kind of technique. I usually aim for pendant dungeons, even if I have to double dip them, because the likelihood, well, it's not the likelihood, but the chance that the item for progression could be in those. So, like, I'm really kicking myself if I leave it too late before going in there. So, especially with the likes of Pod and Eastern, where there's, 8 items total in the 2 of them. And they're, like, if you're full clearing them, then you're not going to lose too much time if you double dip them. Even though it didn't work out great this time around, but I still think it was worth the chance.
So the big turning point in the seed was the fire on in Graveyard Ledge, which I'm sure you were aware of. g3rd0 put off Front of Skullwoods for a very long time, and then when he finally got there, the hookshot unlocked access to Mire, the rest of Swamp, and Hookshot Cave all at once, and he said that's good enough, and left behind Graveyard Ledge, unfortunately.
Yes, but I'll be honest, I probably would have left Graveyard Ledge for a long time too.
It was the right call, but the wrong call.
But the only reason I went there is because I got the boots and decided to do that top route. So the fact that I took a chance and dipped into Turtle Rock and just happened to find the boots was the only reason I went up there so quickly. I'll be the first to admit it was pure luck.
Yeah, that was definitely a lucky break for you there. One other thing that I was wondering about, you checked Lumberjack Ledge early and saw the cape was there. g3rd0 skipped that check. Was there ever a point early in the routing once you had Dark World access where you wanted to be like, I'm going to go do Skull Woods in Western Dark World and just either find out that item is required or get it out of my mind?
I think I was just going to leave that until I found the boots. That was kind of what was going to push me, because I had no idea where they were anyway. So I think it was better leaving it. But yeah, it was certainly in the back of my mind for the whole race that could have been what required for progression.
Sounds good. Any other thoughts about this seed? Anything you're looking forward to in your next match? You'll take on the loser of Magnificent versus Voosh, who you had a 3-game series with earlier.
Yes, I think it will be hilarious now if Voosh loses this series of matches, and then I play him again and then lose again, which could very well happen. But I really hope that the Push or Voosh, whichever he goes by here, will win, so that I can play everyone else in the group and just see how I do against the whole field.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll be looking forward to those matches once they're scheduled. Anything else you want to tell our viewers before you take off and get ready for the rest of the term?
I'm just sorry that I didn't get to do any fan service this time. As you know, when I tend to lose a race, I do something stupid like bomb myself to oblivion, but yeah, I didn't get a chance this time. So hopefully next time I'm restreamed, I'll be able to, I don't know, get 100 bonks in a minute or something, just to have a little bit of fun. And thanks to you guys very much for commentating, and I'll be looking forward to looking at the restream as well. And also GG's to g3rd0, and yeah, I've no doubt that he's the better player, to be honest. And I just got lucky in this seed. It could have been anyone's. It just happened to go my way.
It's best to be lucky and good, and you were today. Congratulations, Dr. Marty. Congratulations on the victory, and we'll see you again later in the tournament.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you. And Koi, heck of a race today.
Absolutely. And I think this makes g3rd0 the second top-seeded player to get knocked out of their group.
It is. Superman and Taylor got knocked out earlier this week, and g3rd0 has joined him as the second 1 seed to leave before the round of 96.
I guess it just goes to show that the seedings from the qualifiers are not the end-all be-all of this game. Anybody of any ranking from the qualifiers could take down anybody. I guess that bodes really bad for me then, since I did well in the qualifiers.
I mean, you can look at it that way, but we got a lot more action coming up for you today across all the Speed Gaming networks. The group stages are going on for another week and a half at least.
Yeah, I think the plan is to get the group stage done over the next 2 weeks. So hopefully everybody can get all their matches out in time so we can continue on to the bracket stage.
Yep, and right now on Speed Gaming 4, you can hop over and check out a race between Chris Owen and Jay Cooper, first of a doubleheader. Later tonight, we got races across all of our network of channels. So stay tuned all evening. We could give a big shout out to our tracker today, Slowpoke316. Thanks for the hard work you put in. Koi, thanks for joining me in for the second half of this race.
Yeah, glad I could jump in and help.
All right, and don't forget to give our runners, g3rd0 and Dr. Marty Zero, a follow. And we will see you again later today with more racing action, no matter which Speed Gaming channel you follow. So for Koi, this is James FNX. Thanks again for another great race, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, James. Bye, everybody.